Hi everyone, it's Cheryl Koehn from Arthritis Consumer Experts, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be sitting here with my longtime colleague and friend Don Bindon, who's the director of the Canadian Spondylitis Association. We thought we'd take a slight science break and talk real people here. Don has been a longtime colleague and friend, volunteer with myself and many others of us oldsters sitting around. And he's done such amazing things for his community, now at a national level for the Canadian Spondylitis Association. Been a true champion for people with ankylosing spondylitis in particular, which you have firsthand experience.
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
And so we wanted to have just a quick 10-minute chat with you, Don, and I thought where we would start is to ask you yourself how you're doing with your disease. You've had it for a long time now.
I have, yeah.
And so maybe take a minute or two and tell us where you've come from and where you're at today and what you think is promising for someone being diagnosed today.
Well, there's lots of things that are promising for people who are being diagnosed today in comparison to when I first presented with the disease. So mine was in early 1980s, about 1982, with a stabbing pain in one buttock that made me limp. And
that wasn't your wife?
No. But she was the one walking behind me, telling me what's wrong with your hip. And I kept saying nothing.
Yeah.
And then she was noticing some other things. Things like I'd get up in the morning and roll out of bed on my hands and knees, and then I'd have to pull myself up on a dresser in order to get standing up.
A little unusual.
Yeah, she thought so at the time, and so she said, you need to go talk to some people. So I went to the normal processes, which is I went to my family physician, who immediately thought that I had either injured myself or that there was something else wrong, but arthritis never came into any of the conversations. So I was bounced around. It wasn't that I was not cared for by the medical profession, because I was. But I was bounced around, and people were trying to figure out what it was that was wrong with me.
Yeah.
And they were coming up with all kinds of measurements. They found out I had one leg a centimeter shorter than the other. Didn't realize that, first of all, that somebody would think that was significant, and then I found out afterwards it wasn't significant, that most people have that.
But it's a red herring.
It is, because they built up a shoe and stuff like that, and they made things worse. And so I went quite a while without any help. 7 years. And ultimately, my wife Amy said, you should go to a chiropractor. And I said, no, I don't think so. But she is a bit persistent, and I'm afraid of her. So as a result...
and you should be, Don.
I should be. And I eventually went to a chiropractor, and it didn't work on me for a while, and was a good chiropractor, by the way, and said, I'm not helping you. So then I thought I was just going to be booted out the door, and said, really what I think you should do, he said, I want you to go back to your family doctor and say they should maybe give you an HLA-B27 test.
Wow.
Which is a blood test marker for ankylosing spondylitis. I had no idea what it meant or anything like that. And but I went back to my family doctor and I said, a chiropractor thinks I need this HLA-B27, and my doctor lit up a bit and said, I need to send you to a rheumatologist. And that's how I met Dr. Alice Klinkoff.
And you were on your way by then.
Well, when I went over to see her, I said, I'm supposed to get this test, and she said, wait a minute, just tell me about your life. And I started to say, she said, when do you feel bad? So I tell her in the morning. She said, what makes you feel good? Hot shower, walk around for a while, take some aspirin. Oh, and I feel really good when I'm playing sports. And after about 5 or 10 minutes, she said, I'm never going to have to test you for B27. I never did. She said, I know what you have. So then she had me stand up against a wall and put her fingers behind my head and said, how come your head doesn't touch the wall? Because I know why your head doesn't touch the wall. And she had me do a few other things, touch your toes.
So, Don, that story is so emblematic of the course of the journey.
7 years.
It's a far too long journey that a majority of ankylosing spondylitis patients or people experiencing those symptoms endure. For women, it's 10 years.
Yes.
Because it's commonly known as a man's disease, which has been corrected by epidemiologic studies now. We now know it's a bit more balanced.
Yep.
But to think then and even today, people are still waiting years for these types of discussions. So here, this just points out elegantly the skill of a physician that's specialty trained in arthritis.
Correct.
A rheumatologist. And
Yes.
that this physician could, with a simple history taking,
Yep.
with a really good thorough exam, with a few simple tests like the classic stand against a wall test.
Occipital.
Exactly. That she would then quickly arrive at that diagnosis. And I think that's also true across types of rheumatic disease. Rheumatoid arthritis, psoriatic arthritis. I mean, we hear kind of tragic stories every day in the work that we do to support patients like ourselves. When you think about patients diagnosed today, so some of them are still going through this far too long journey, but less so.
Yes.
What do you see happening for patients today now?
Well, I think that, first of all, I really do believe that the understanding of arthritis, in all of its forms, our family doctors are more in tune with it. I know that as soon as I was actually diagnosed, then family doctors understood exactly what it was. They weren't picking up on it the same way. They didn't see the clues. But once they realized what I had, then they fully understood what kind of treatment I was needing and what kind of things that the rheumatologist would be doing, and then they adjusted the way that they treated me as a family doctor afterwards too. So those things are better. I think that we're also finding that health professionals in an awful lot of areas are interested in
Meaning allied, like you're saying physio, occupational therapy, those kinds of positions?
Any of those positions. That's where I look as our professionals. That they have a better understanding where it's at. So I think that the time now to diagnosis is coming down. One of the things I wonder about though is the number of rheumatologists that we're creating, and I know of retirements that are happening, and the ones that are hanging on. Even then I look every once in a while and say I know of a few that are within the range that they could quit tomorrow. And the only reason why they're still there is because they love to do the work and they like to go to the office. But
so that is a concern, and we're here for our followers and fans that are tuning in on Facebook and Twitter Live. Don and I are here attending the Canadian Rheumatology Association and Arthritis Health Professions Association annual scientific meeting. I don't know about you, Don, but sitting in the plenary sessions and listening to the science, I'm so encouraged to see all of the youngsters up at the podium.
Yes.
Like the next gen fellow patients out there tuning in has arrived. They are taking leadership at scientific meetings. And I think that only bodes well for the growth. The difficulty in rheumatology in growing their ranks has been that ranked on specialty physician sort of pay scale. I hope they're not listening to this. They're not well remunerated given the time they spend with us. So I think we have to, as patient organizations, the CSA and ACE, we need to really support the advocacy movements of the CRA and HPA and others to be remunerated appropriate to the time that they're investing in each and every patient. When you're newly diagnosed, it might take upwards of 45 minutes to an hour. So, to pay, I know a few years ago, they would be paid $36 for that. Well, I know kids doing IT in their basement who are making 5 times that amount.
Exactly.
So we have to start saying, well, is this the way we want to care for patients and how we want to remunerate and attract new people into the community from a rheumatology perspective? So,
and some of the things I've noticed that from my own experience that now offices, rheumatology offices, are in fact bringing in some additional people under the direction of the rheumatologist who do some of the more straightforward work in the initial stages.
So like physician extenders. So admin people, nurses.
That's right. So that by doing it that way, you are in the office longer, on your visits than you certainly are in most other doctors' offices. But the actual time that you need to be with a rheumatologist, in my stage of my disease, I don't need an awful lot of time with them.
Same here.
I don't need that much time with them. I know, first of all, you learn. And that's one of the things about having disease for a long time. is you learn how to articulate what the answers to the questions.
Yeah.
I don't have to actually tell them, in lay terms what I'm feeling. I answer the questions based on what I know they're looking for.
Right.
When it comes to my current condition and whether or not I'm still where I am, I'm plateau, I'm steady, I'm doing better, and I'm falling off, those things.
Yeah, so that's a great pivot point for this discussion, actually, to talk about the Canadian Spondylitis Association, arthritis consumer experts, and the work that we do individually and collectively in community to actually help our fellow patients who are new to this journey ask better questions, basically, be able to interpret what is being told to them by either the rheumatologist or one of those other healthcare professionals that you're referring to. That is our lifeblood's work. It is what we do every day, all day. And so I want to really encourage people to go to your website, to attend in-person forums that they host across the country, to come to our website. What's your website address? I don't want to make a mistake here. It's spondy.ca.
No, spondylitis.
Spondylitis.ca. Okay, thank you.
One of these days it might be spondylitis.
And I think our fearless producer, Anita, has provided the links to those websites, or will, following this or during this interview. Ours is, of course, jointhealth.org. We together individually have reams of information.
We do.
And we're also here at this Canadian Rheumatology Association and Arthritis Health Professions Association annual meeting to deepen our relationships and our ties with rheumatologists so that they'll refer you to us more quickly. Because we know that patient education and good, credible, evidence-based education, I will add and underscore, as well as peer-to-peer listening. Talking with a fellow patient, while we're not doctors, we've been where you've been.
And we know where you're going.
And we know where you're going in many ways, exactly. We never try to interfere in the patient-physician relationship. We're here in an additive, supportive way. So we really encourage you to check out our websites. People like Don, myself, our colleagues here in the Arthritis Broadcast Network booth, it's what we do. We're here to be part of the global village of people with arthritis, no matter the type of arthritis, and to hang together, to fight together, to support together, to cry together, to laugh together. I mean, we're in it for life. Until they find a cure, we're in it for life.
And you know what? They've been looking in cure direction for a long time.
They have.
I'm not expecting it, in
our lifetime.
No, I'm not.
But what we are hearing a lot about, turning to science at this meeting, and we've been hearing this now for the 5 years we've been broadcasting, we've been hearing more and more about personalized or precision medicine. So it is our hope that coming soon to a rheumatology office near you is a more targeted approach to how each and every patient is treated. We always say every patient's a snowflake.
That's correct.
And while we might, many of us, be taking the same things, the dosing might be slightly different. The timing may be different. When we start and stop may be different. There's lots of nuances between patients, which is why we're considered kind of snowflakes. It's a very tricky disease, as your experience has shown you early on, and the long time it took you to get diagnosed. But we're here to tell you, I want to use a word much stronger than hope. We're in it to win. We're in it to win together. And so we encourage you to continue to tune in, visit the organization that Dawn's here representing, Canadian Spondylitis Association, spondylitis.ca, jointhealth.org. Come back for our next interviews. We're really having a great time, but we're learning a ton, and we're trying to get it out to you, our viewers. So thanks for tuning in. I guess we'll ask our fearless producer, Anita, if we have any questions.
There is a question that applies to both of you. What is upcoming at ACE and CSA?
I'll let you go first.
We're working right now on mundane things that non-profit organizations have to work on occasionally in order to stay alive, which is we have a new strategic plan, which means for non-profit boards, we're all volunteers. It's necessary that we scale down to where we can actually work.
Yeah.
Because it's easy enough to get to be the size of a massive bureaucracy with a small board, and then you just overwhelm everyone. So we're actually working on our strategic plan, finding our pillars that we're doing with it, looking at things that improving our website, for instance. When I was first diagnosed with this, you couldn't go on the internet and find information. You had to go to the library.
I went to bookstores and libraries.
Like that, and find out that the books were written in 1946 or something like that, as I recall. So those are the kind of things that we're doing, and we're working hard at it. So
well, you've got a strong ally and partner in Arthritis Consumer Experts. Always have been, always will be. At Arthritis Consumer Experts, we have a ton of different things going on. Like the CSA, we try to practice precision education as much as possible. We really encourage you to visit the educational pieces on our website. We have a number of educational courses online that focus on inflammatory arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, biologics and biosimilars, advanced therapies in general, and that program is growing this year and next. We also invite you to go to our biosimilars or biosim exchange area. It's the area of our website. People are now hearing about biosimilars more and more. There's policy in place. They are the next generation of the originator whose patents are now up. You can read all about them there, so great topic of interest to a lot of different stakeholders. And I think most importantly, our breaking news alerts that inform you of safety or efficacy issues with therapies or other types of treatments, how to reach out, how to participate in research. We do a lot of work with the Arthritis Patient Advisory Board and Arthritis Research Canada, who will be interviewed later today, and they'll have a chance to talk to you about the great offerings and the work that they're doing as well. So that's just a sneak peek into some of the things that we're doing. Any other questions, Anita? No, okay, so keep the questions flowing. We will answer them as we have little breaks in our day here. We thank you so much for tuning in, and Don, as always, love you to bits. Thank you for doing all that you do, and thanks for the CSA's efforts on behalf of everyone.
Having a great time here in the studio.
Fantastic.
Having a great time.
That's great. Come back. Don's interviewing more people.
I am.
Thanks, everyone. See you soon.